Professional wrestling mainstay Jim Cornette has resigned his position with the National Wrestling Alliance. Effective immediately, Jim Cornette has resigned from the National Wrestling Alliance, the company said in a statement released on Wednesday. As an announcer on the November 19th edition of the NWA POWERRR, Jim made remarks during a singles match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch that were both offensive and do not meet the high standards of decency and good faith of the National Wrestling Alliance. To ensure that such an error could never happen again, we've established new procedures of review for all NWA programming going forward. We sincerely regret our failure in this regard.
Great.
Cornette had been working as a color commentator, interesting position in light of the comment he made.
He apparently only color commentated for one color.
Right. On the NWA's recently launched weekly YouTube wrestling show, NWA POWERRR, but during the November 19th episode, he said, Trevor Murdoch is the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Trevor Murdoch can take care of himself. Viewers quickly responded, condemning the statement as racist.
Yeah.
With the NWA briefly pulling the episode off the YouTube to edit that out. Cornette has been in a professional wrestling business for most of his life, working in numerous major and independent promotions. Throughout this time, he has worked in various on-screen and behind-the-scenes roles, including a commentator, promoter, and manager. He is also currently host of two podcasts. That would be the Jim Cornette Experience and Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru. Which one is the one you listen to?
I actually listen to both, but the one I listen to every week is The Experience.
Okay. Around the same time, the NWA released their statement. Doesn't NWA stand for niggers with attitudes?
Well, in some circles.
Why is this so out of place for this?
Well, I guess it ain't in this circle. It's
all right. Cornette posted the following on Twitter.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone. Heard any good jokes lately? This coming Friday's Jim Cornette Experience, wherever you find your favorite podcast, is liable to be a good one if you like hearing stupid people told what they can do with their stupidity. The NWA was originally founded in 1948 with Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan purchasing the brand in 2017. Based in Atlanta, POWERRR was launched in early October and was positioned as a throwback to the studio style of wrestling show of the 1970s and the 1980s.
It's awesome. I will say that. Before we go further, I will say, as a fan of wrestling, it is awesome. It really is a throwback. Like it's the studio that they film in. They probably have 150 people at most sitting on bleachers on like one half of the ring, and then the other half is a table where the announcer sits, and then there's like a little podium where they all yell at each other.
Yeah,
but it's
kind of like the scene you see in the movie The Wrestler.
Yeah, it really is. It's old school. If anybody that grew up watching wrestling in the early 80s on TV, you would watch like WWF's Main Event, and then you would watch NWA.
Okay.
And they've gone out of their way to recreate this NWA, including even like all the art and stuff is like old 8-bit graphics and stuff. I mean, they've really tried to make it look like it's 1978 again.
They've tried to go retro.
Yeah, and even the ring, when people get slammed on the ring, remember in the old days when people got slammed on the ring and it sounded like they were getting slammed on a piece of sheet metal? Probably don't. But,
well, no, I know it sounds like they're being landed on a piece of plywood.
Yeah, well, they've really accentuated that, and I mean it's really an old school throwback. Now the reason I'm bringing that up is because they brought in Cornette 100% to bring back that old school feel.
The nostalgia factor.
Yeah, they want, as a commentator, Cornette's out of touch with. First of all, you're gonna like this part. It's almost karma biting this guy because he is a super duper left-wing radical kook.
Okay.
Like half of his podcast is just smashing people that vote for Trump, and then anybody that would vote for Trump is a fucking idiot and blah blah blah. And I mean, he mixes in his politics with his show.
Okay.
So it is funny that he got fired by the exact politics that he fucking, supports. That
right.
To me is funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
But in the end, he didn't do anything wrong. As far as what he was hired to do, he was doing exactly what he was hired to do, which is call these matches in an old school way, use old school references, and what they're trying to do is tie this new class of people to the old wrestlers. So they're constantly referencing, the old wrestling, and like Nick Aldis is the champ now. And they put him on the same list as the old champs, the Ric Flairs and the, Ole Andersons and stuff. They try to compare them and make it all like it's one thing instead of two different things separated by 35 years or whatever.
Right.
Well, Cornette is that bridge by using these old references. And in this case, the reference that he used is only racist if you're going to gravitate toward the racist feel of what he said.
Okay.
What he said was, this guy, Trevor Murdoch, who's got to be 60 years old, is so tough that he could strap a bucket of chicken on his back and ride through Ethiopia.
Yeah, I get you.
The way that this was taken as offensive,
yeah,
was Ethiopians are black and bucket of chicken.
Yeah.
The way he meant it was
the Ethiopians are hungry and they would chase this guy down to get something to eat.
Kid with overextended belly from not eating and flies in his face, eating the chicken, seeing the chicken and grab.
Yeah, I get it. They're rabid dogs, hungry for anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got that when I first read that. I did not read that as a racist thing.
And it wasn't. And here's even more proof that this is just 100% reactionary and not even the beliefs of the company itself, whether you're saying Billy Corgan or whoever at the company NWA.
Right.
These they said in that article, and even what they wrote in this article is misleading. They said that this was on the November 19th episode of Power, correct?
Yes.
Well, here's a news flash. They film these things 6 episodes at a time. So this shit was filmed. This is the last one before the pay-per-view.
Okay.
So they filmed this 6 weeks ago and didn't edit it. So even having this filmed for 6 weeks, 6 weeks of production to do with this thing, they didn't deem it racist. Nobody in their quality control, nobody that watched it, none of their ownership or management or people that were involved regarded it as racist. It only got regarded as racist once it aired and some woke individual decided, oh my God, I'm offended by what he said.
Yeah, of course.
Fried chicken, that's offensive.
Of course.
So it wasn't offensive. And I will be honest, I thought Cornette's comments were funny on his podcast.
Okay.
And he didn't apologize, and good for him. He said, fuck this, it's fucking stupid. I'm not apologizing for shit.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, nor should he. What would an apology do? He's not getting his job back. So what would the apology do? Dumb.